Good day, my friends. The Holy Shit of the Bible is a countdown of the 75 best obscenities, absurdities, and atrocities from the Bible. It's available in my TikTok shop, and we'll read a passage here. If you really aren't sure where to begin in tackling the task of reading the Bible, and you're always hearing of the blatantly grotesque nature of God that is clearly laid out in the Bible, or you're always hearing references to certain stories or passages that you simply don't have the time or even the desire to research and would rather have it all nicely and simply presented, then you may enjoy this book. And that goes for the staunch atheist, to the new believer, to the skeptic, or the doubtful, but most importantly, the longtime Bible adherent and Christian of any denomination or the likes thereof, as I wonder if you can make it entirely through and still come out believing, supporting, and even promoting such preposterous inanity. So let's check out passage number 59, the Scapeman, a play on the scapegoat. We're in Leviticus chapter 24, verses 10 through 17, and verse 23 in the New Living Translation, an example of just punishment. One day a man who had an Israelite mother and an Egyptian father came out of his tent and got into a fight with one of the Israelite men. During the fight, this son of an Israelite woman blasphemed the name of the Lord with a curse. The man was brought to Moses for judgment. His mother was Shelomoth, the daughter of Debri of the tribe of Dan. They kept the man in custody until the Lord's will in the matter should become clear to them. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Take the blasphemer outside the camp and tell all those who heard the curse to lay their hands on his head. Then let the entire community stone him to death. Say to the people of Israel, those who curse their God will be punished for their sin. Anyone who blasphemes the name of the Lord must be stoned to death by the whole community of Israel. Any native-born Israelite or foreigner among you who blasphemes the name of the Lord must be put to death. Anyone who takes another person's life must be put to death." After Moses gave all these instructions to the Israelites, they took the blasphemer outside the camp and stoned him to death. The Israelites did just as the Lord had commanded Moses. Good for you. Our engagement begins by paying tribute to the author behind the literary prowess of the NLT, the New Living Translation, section heading, an example of just punishment. Presumably this biblically good idea, to break down the heading even further, should be applicable and necessary for all time, especially if it happens to directly violate one of the 10 Commandments. Let's find out what in God's name happened here. We're presented with two belligerent Bedouins getting scrappy. One, who happens to be half Egyptian, unleashes a forbidden sure-kill fatality move by blaspheming and cursing the name of the Lord. Fatality. Little does he know by his utterance he has sealed his own fate. The spectators are appalled at the man's outburst, so they take him to Moses for judgment. Moses is an excellent fit for the job. Not only is he the leader of the entire desert detention camp, but he is also quite skilled in the art of slaughtering those of Egyptian descent. Overcome by the terrifying report, he locks the man away in high-security isolation and ponders a just punishment. Fortunately, the Lord steps in, and, for the sake of utmost clarity, speaks directly to Moses and extends the law of stoning to all blasphemers, regardless of nationality. It appears Moses had forgotten this just punishment that was gaining traction and one the Lord was growing fond of. He delivers the execution instructions to the Israelites and proceeds to his box seat. A far cry from the skybox seats where the Lord has year-round passes in perpetuity. In preparation, they emulated their new God-given invention of the scapegoat and created the first Scapeman. The witnesses had become unclean just by hearing the man's treacherous words, so they laid their hands on his head to put that guilt back upon him. Upon the completion of the magical cleansing of their sorely defiled ears and mind, it was then time for the whole congregation to join in stoning the man to death. It's no wonder why this disgusting and detestable murderous act of brutality on behalf of the Lord would lead to great measures in avoiding saying or writing the name of God. In time, the Jews would write Adonai, Lord, instead of Yahweh. Instead of God, they would write G-D or G-D. They would refer to God with names like the name instead of saying God. If you're anything like me and in need of some serious comic relief after this serious insanity, just read the brilliant insertion of verse 17. "And he that kill any man shall surely be put to death." Of course, this scripture does not apply to God or anyone killing for God. Well, dear brethren, let's conclude our devotional by kindly adjusting the NLT section heading, Divine Security Illness, or BS, broad statements of bloodthirsty barbarians. Have a great week. Much love to all of you. Thank you to all those who have purchased the book. Appreciate it as always. Check it out in the TikTok shop, and I'll see you next time. Later.